Welcome back to Kiwi Bred. Let's take you now to Rich Hill Stud, where I caught up with John Thompson to talk about last season's leading 2-year-old sire, Any Suggestion. Well, John, with Any Suggestion, what was the process of getting him to Rich Hill Stud?
Well, look, a number of years ago we tried to buy a sprinter in Australia called Shower Heart. He was owned by Ross Cutts and he raced in Queensland. He won the Stradbroke. Very good horse who's turned out to be a very good sire. Unfortunately, at the time we missed him. The same owner, Ross, came to me and he said, look, I've got another young horse coming up. If he runs well, you can have first option on him. And true to his word, after Any Suggestion ran second to Miss Andretti in the Australian Stakes, I decided he was definitely worth pursuing as a stallion prospect, so I rang him and he gave us the first right to buy the horse and syndicate him. So, you know, he's a man of his word, basically.
By Lion Hunter out of Advisable, what appealed to you about the pedigree?
Well, look, really, I just loved Lion Hunter. I believe if he hadn't have died prematurely, he would have been one of Danehill's best size sons. I mean, he stood in Queensland for $5,000 in the initial parts of his career. He threw horses like Lovely Jubbly and Gold Edition, who, you know, Gold Edition's got to be one of the most talented mares, toughest and talented we've ever seen. And, you know, I just decided that he was a horse well capable of siring a sire's son. And of course, Advisable was a full sister to the dam of Shower Heart. And we'd missed Shower Heart, who'd gone on to be, at that stage, Australia's leading first season sire. So we decided we weren't going to miss this horse.
Early stages of his stallion career, but what stands out about him for you?
Well, I guess the initial thing was when his yearlings went through the ring from his first crop off a $6,500 service fee. The first yearling we put in the ring by and made $170,000, and that was just a great return for a lot of people that supported the horse. And that horse went on came back to Cracker the next year, trained by Anthony Friedman, and won the Cracker Millions. So, you know, really he's made a dream start both commercially and on the racetrack with his progeny.
Down the outside, Occam's Razor and Warhorse, many chances at the 250. My Guru made the lead. Here's Choice Pro along the inside, and now Silk Pins is coming after them as well with green wings. Occam's Razor right down the outside's flying. Occam's Razor, Silk Pins, Choice Pro and Warhorse. Occam's Razor, the Aussie does it.
The Cracker Millions now has become quite an important race on our racing calendar, and it was a very good field they gathered this year. And the horse, they had a plan. When I spoke to them earlier in the year, they said we're going to give this horse one run in Australia, qualify him for the race and then bring him over. And there's so many things, as you know, that can not go right with plans in the thoroughbred industry, and the simple fact that it all came off as planned, it was such a great feeling for everybody concerned.
Is there any reason they run early, do you think?
I think with him it's probably the temperament. A lot of trainers will tell you that a good 2-year-old generally has a bomb-proof temperament. They eat, they don't get stressed. Some of the other more staying horses, they tend to find that if they run them too early, they're a little bit mentally immature as well as physically immature, but I guess that's nature's way. You find the natural 2-year-olds are pretty much bomb-proof, and that's probably where the Any Suggestions fit in. He's got a great temperament himself, and he's thrown that into his progeny. I'd be very surprised if the horses don't come back bigger and better next year, and faster, hopefully.
Has he been popular as a stallion?
Look, he's been a very popular horse. I think his first year he covered 135 mares, so he ended up with nearly 90 foals on the ground. Second year, 111 mares. Last year he covered in the 90s, so I guess such an attractive horse. He's a very good package, and obviously the way he started, I think he'll be very popular again this year.
You've had 2 crops at the yearling sales. You mentioned 170,000. You've had another one go through at 160. Have you been happy with the sales results?
Oh, very happy. I mean, you know, when you multiply up service fee versus return, and a lot of our clients have done well, which is important for us because, you know, they come back and reinvest. So, yeah, overall they've sold very well, and they've been put in good stables too, which is always a help.
So a slight raise in the service fee, but for a horse that's had a good start to a stallion career, $1,000 doesn't seem a too big a raise to $7,500.
No, exactly. I think the horse will look very cheap in the spring if he keeps going the way he is. But I think if he's champion 2-year-old sire and champion first season sire, which is where he's going to end up this year, I think $1,000 raise is pretty justifiable in this case, and even in the current economic environment.
If you're in the Waikato, I would recommend a visit to Rich Hill and take a look at any suggestion. He's certainly a stallion that caught my eye. It's Pedigree of the Week time, and we take a look at Veyron, the multiple Group 1 winning son of Thorne Park.
Veyron's remarkable racetrack success is all about keeping it in the family. Named after the world's fastest sports car, Veyron has shown all the acceleration and high cruising speed to live up to that tag, accumulating 4 Group 1 wins so far with a promise of more to come. He claimed his first Group 1 victory in last year's Easter Handicap at Ellerslie and sealed his 4th in the same race this year. In between were a scintillating win over Mufasa in the Waikato Draft Sprint and a clinical win over Lady Kipling in the Haunui Farm Classic at Otaki. Veyron is raced by his breeders, Waikato couple Isabel and Alistair Barker, dry stock farmers who brought Veyron's dam over the limit from their stock buyer Doug Ansell, whose late mother Una had bred and raced that mare's dam Limitless. The Barkers sent Centro mare over the limit firstly to Star Way to produce the filly On the Limit, and then to fellow Windsor Park stud sire Thorne Park to produce Veyron. However, they lost over the limit foaling Veyron, so only have On the Limit to continue her legacy. Trained by Dowling's daughter Linda Lang, Veyron has shown that he has inherited all his maternal family's toughness, while Thorne Park has injected a generous dose of speed. Our Pedigree this week was brought to you by Dunstan Horse Feeds.
Well, that's it for the first edition of Kiwi Bred. We hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we catch up with Rodney Schick about Thorne Park, and we visit Wellfield Lodge in the Manawatu. We look forward to your company then.